Whenever I organize or clean my art studio, I become increasingly aware of the amount of art supplies that I have and the amount that I don't often use or completely abandoned. So today I am going to try to use all or most of the art supplies that I've just abandoned to get my footing back into those supplies and those mediums, and just to have fun with art supplies. And here are the art supplies in question. First we have Crayola crayons here, and there's a little dust on the top of these. There's 64 colors. They're all not really in any order. Next we have Prismacolor soft pastels. A bunch of them are broken in here, which is fine. They're actually easier to use when they're broken because these used to be really long. And oil pastels. I used to love working with oil pastels, and I don't know why I stopped using them. And lastly, charcoal. I have them in this old pencil case because charcoal is super messy. So I'm going to try to use all or most of these art supplies today in my sketchbook. And I actually made this sketchbook. I stitched the paper together, glued the cardboard and everything. But before I did that, I made this tester sketchbook just to make sure that I knew how to do the stitching again. And I just kind of kept this, and I've been using it to like swatch markers sometimes. So I'm going to swatch these pastels. Since they're all dirty, I don't really remember what the colors actually look like, since there's pastel dust all over all of them. So let's do a quick swatch. And the reason I have broken these is because while I was using these during my art classes, they were really long pastels, and I just found it easier to hold it while it was like snapped in half. So I broke all of them on purpose so that they were easier to handle and draw with. And so yeah, here's are all the colors, and these are looking really bright and beautiful. And my hands are already getting dusty and fingers are turning brown from all of the different colors mixed together. And there are some extra little ones here that are not rectangular. During my art classes, my art professor actually had like a tin of her own, like a bunch of different pastels. And since we all had to use this specific set, there was not that many colors, so she let us borrow or use some from her pastel case, and she actually let us keep a few. So I kind of only took a few colors to kind of complete the set. So I took like a light purple and this nice light orange, and I think like a brown or two, because we were drawing a lot of portraits, so I wanted more like skin tone colors and just some colors to complete the set. So yeah, I have all of these beautiful colors here, and now that they are swatched, I can finally start drawing. And yeah. And I didn't swatch the oil pastels because, one, there are 49 colors there, and I can kind of already tell what those colors look like, so I didn't feel the need to swatch all of those. So I just started sketching with this pretty pink crayon here, and I unintentionally decided that today's drawing theme is going to be cats, because I ended up drawing multiple different cats with like flowers for this video. So this is a little kitten in like a little field of flowers, and this sketch looks a little weird because the kitten's position was like kind of like in the middle of walking, I think. And I just kind of randomly sketched some of the flowers around it. I'm more focused on like the leaves and stuff, and I can't wait to fill all this in with color. And I'll be starting with a bunch of dark greens in the like shadow areas, like in between the flowers and where those like dark leaves are and stuff. And I wish I knew why I stopped using oil pastels, because this was a great reminder that oil pastels are really fun. I love how creamy and oily these sticks are, and it's just so smooth to draw with on paper. And maybe it's the paper that I'm using, which is Bristol paper, but I don't know, this just went so smoothly, and I just forgot how cool these were. And I think what helped me like really fall in love with these again is like all the greens that I was using, because I love green. Maybe I just became like less interested in it, because I didn't
unlike the chalk pastels, I wasn't using oil pastels for school, and maybe that's why I didn't enjoy using chalk pastels so much, because I was literally using them every day for class, and it was just annoying for me for some reason. Maybe because it getting all over my hands was bothering me, especially with my eczema, and I don't know, just like being required to do it just maybe made me not like it. I don't know if that makes sense to other people, or you know, maybe you liked reading and then had to read a lot for school, and maybe that made you less interested in reading because it became a requirement more than something that was fun. I feel like maybe it's that kind of vibe that would happen. But with oil pastels, I don't know, I just maybe got bored. And of course, I wish that didn't happen at all, because oil pastels are really fun, and a lot of art supplies are really fun, but you know, it happens. You get bored of some things, or you know, maybe even the same foods if you eat them a lot. I don't know, I'm just trying to relate this to other people here. But yeah, I just wish I had the reason why I stopped using these, but I'm glad I reminded myself that these are really cool, and I actually maybe unintentionally wanted to use these again, because while I was organizing before this video, like a different time, I did move my oil pastels closer to where I can reach, because it used to be farther back in my desk, and now they're closer to reach, and I didn't even realize that until I was getting this video ready and these art supplies out, and I was like, oh, the oil pastels are actually a lot closer than I remember them being, and I should use them more. And I did a couple more drawings after this fun day, and I realized one little con with oil pastels is that if you don't put any protective sheets, or maybe even like a spray or something, it will smear onto the next page if you're drawing on a spread of pages on a sketchbook. Or yeah, it will smear. I did leave this right side of the page completely blank, because I realized that it will smear no matter what I draw on the other side. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that side. Maybe I could put a protective sheet and then draw on the other side another day or something. I don't know, but for now, yeah, I left that right side blank. And since I've closed the sketchbook, there is some oil pastel on that side, which is fine. And I am loving this drawing. I just wanted to finish it up with doing like a little color palette thing at the top of the page. And then I filled in some of the blank gaps at the top with some of the green pastels, the chalk pastels. And I think it helped a lot. I liked the texture that it created with the soft pastels over the oil pastels a little bit, and then I added a little bit of crayons too, just to see how that works together, and they all kind of work together pretty well. I think they need to be layered kind of first. I don't know how well crayon would be over chalk pastels, I don't know, but yeah, this is the first drawing with almost all of the materials here. I would kind of ruin it if I added charcoal, but yeah, I used all of the colorful art supplies that we have here. And for the next drawing, I think I'm gonna switch to charcoal. So like I said earlier, I have all of these in this old Apple Pencil case, and I actually copied my art teacher who did the exact same thing. He had kept all of his charcoals in this case, and I was like, oh, I have my old case still. I'm gonna put my charcoal in here. So I have a charcoal pencil, and I forget the names of these because I haven't used these in so long. Again, I use these for school too, but I have these like longer charcoal pieces that are like really light and really fragile, and I have some thinner ones, and then I have these like nice blocky pieces of charcoal that you might be more familiar with. But the charcoal pencils are pretty cool too. So I'm just going to use this like charcoal block stick to sketch once again another cat, and I'm sketching another cat with some flowers. So this is a fluffier cat, and there's like these little like pretty flowers all around them. And I thought maybe I should have mixed the soft pastels with this. I think that's kind of my intention, but I realized that like charcoal is very messy because it's almost exactly like graphite but thicker. It's charcoal. So similar to my first drawing, I'm filling in all of these shadow areas, and I kind of forgot to sketch the cat's face first, so let me do that really quick and then continue on with the shadows that I was doing. And charcoal is fun because you can really smear it really well, kind of like the soft pastels, and if you have these blender tools, they'll also help you too, but I didn't really use that much because I realized that my fingers are already dirty. I could just use my finger to smear everything, because while you're creating art, your hands are your best friends because you can use them as a tool to blend or to get texture, and yeah, it just helps you a lot. So I left some areas without any charcoal smear on the front of the cat because I want those areas to be the brightest. And then I also grabbed my erasers to help me too if I needed them. But I only really use the kneaded eraser a little bit. With charcoal, your kneaded eraser is also going to be your best friend because you can pick up little highlight areas and you can really twist a kneaded eraser to be as pointy as possible and roll it out to be really big and wide, and it's just a really great tool. And with this little thin charcoal piece, I'm just sketching the little flowers and just a little bit more detail, not too much, in the hair of the cat or the fur. And then I use that blending tool just a little bit because I didn't want to smear it too much with my finger since it's bigger than the pointy blending tool. And yeah, this was a really quick sketch with the charcoal because I didn't have a lot of color. I didn't have any color, sorry, to work with. So I didn't have to, I don't know. I more had to worry about values where it's going to be light and dark. So yeah, then I used my kneaded eraser lastly to just pick up some little spots where I want it to be really bright. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the charcoal. And it's looking very cute, so I'm going to have to protect this drawing with a little sheet of paper. I have this tracing paper that I'm just going to slip in there. And then I actually taped it to the page a little bit so that it wouldn't move around too much. And now moving on to using the soft pastels. And again, I'm sketching another cat, this black cat, and some flowers again. And I think the reason that I had so much fun drawing with the oil pastels is because I was drawing cats and like a lot of greenery, so I was really enjoying the subject matter, which was the thing that I'm drawing. So I just kept going along with that and drawing more and more cats. So I'm using these soft pastels here. These are Prismacolor soft pastels. I think a lot of soft pastels kind of work similar to these because these are called new pastels and I don't know the difference, sorry. So I kind of kept this a little bit loose, similar to the charcoal drawing, where I just kind of smear the shapes, where I'm just kind of drawing the shapes a bit, not really worrying about detail very much. And then I tried cleaning it up a little bit with that kneaded eraser, because you can kind of do that with the soft pastels too. And then finally using these few green colors that I have here to do like the leaves and like the flower stems. And yeah, I feel like this drawing is fairly simple. There's like no detail at all really, and maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it that much, because I was getting a little bit bored drawing with the soft pastels. Maybe because there's just not that many colors that I have to work with, and I went with a short color palette for this. So this didn't take very long to draw, and of course I got pastel dust everywhere from drawing with them, so I had to kind of blow that off the page, which left my desk a little green for a little bit. And then I thought to mix it up a bit more with some crayons to do some more shadow and stuff, just add a little bit more color, texture, I don't know. Wasn't really loving this drawing. I think just because I don't really like how the colors worked together. But yeah, here is the final drawing, and let's do a quick little flip through of all of the drawings that I did today in this lovely charcoal sketch. A little cat and some flowers, daisies, I don't know what kind of flowers, and got to put that protective sheet back on because it's already transferred to that other page. And this lovely oil pastel, chalk pastel crayon drawing with another cat and some little flowers too. So those are all of the drawings. Now time to clean up this mess.
So that was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I didn't have any expectations going in. I just had all the materials laid out and I was just gonna draw whatever I felt like. And I think I had probably a lot of fun because I was drawing cats and I love cats. I had the most fun with the oil pastels, surprisingly. It was just, I love the amount of color that I was able to capture. I just really loved how smooth it was working with it. I kind of felt it in like a painterly kind of way because of how smooth and oily the pastels are. So I was really able to like mix colors really easily. Then that charcoal drawing was so cool. And again, super messy. All of these materials are so messy. I washed my hands a couple times and I got pastel dust all over my desk. I had not that much fun with the soft pastel drawing. I don't know, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should have kind of treated it like the charcoal and like mixed it with my fingers a little bit more. Just kind of getting bored with the pastels versus the oil pastels. The reason I didn't do a crayon drawing because I figured that it would kind of be like the soft pastel drawing, and I was getting bored at that time anyway, so I was like, my crayon drawing will probably look like this. And I did use it a bunch, coloring in some spots and sketching that first drawing too. So I technically used all of them. That wasn't really something that I wanted to do, was to use every single one, but I did in a way, so proud of myself for that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I encourage you to use your art supplies, especially the ones that you've maybe stopped using, and just have fun with your art supplies again. Try new mediums, try your old mediums again that you used to use. Yeah, just have fun with art supplies again. Thanks for watching, and make sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you are new here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.